Now I'm going to turn to the young people. How many member states do we have at the UN? Marta told you, come on. 193. And these member states run the organization. We work for them, and they make up the rules. And when they all got together, they wanted to make sure that the staff of the United Nations Secretariat was as diverse as its member states. So they do this thing called where they analyze the staff through what is called geographic ranges to make sure each country has a number of staff. Now, if the country is not adequately represented among the staff, every year we in the UN invite countries to participate in what we call the Young Professionals Examination. The key word here is young. You have to be 32 years or younger to participate. How many people think that I'm 32 years or younger? Oh, that they laugh. Okay. So you have to be from a country that is participating. I'm pleased to tell you that this year Spain is participating. You have to have a passport from Spain or any of the other countries. We are inviting about, I think 80 countries, 76 to 80 countries will be participating. And we will be announcing it this week on our website, careers.un.org, the countries participating. So if you are a national of one of the participating countries, if you are 32 years or younger when we give the exam, and we're giving the exam, I'll tell you right now, December 3rd, 2013. And if you have at least an undergraduate degree in one of the areas that we're giving the exam, then you are eligible to apply. So do you want to know what we're giving the exam in this year? Yes? No? Okay. Legal affairs. So who are the lawyers? Finance. Administration. Administration includes human resources, procurement, budget. Statistics. Any statisticians? No, we're not getting the statisticians. Public information, which includes journalists, communications, and finance. Any finance, business people? So those are the areas. So you have to be 32, you have to at least have a bachelor's. But we're only taking 40 people per country per area. So if we have 5 areas, how many people are we taking from Spain? 200, right? So if there are more than 40 people that apply for finance, we're going to up the criteria. Then we're going to see, do they have a higher degree? Do they have some experience? Do they speak other languages? So then you're really going to get the top 40 from Spain competing against the rest. The application period will begin in May. I suggest that you apply early because it is technical online, and if there's problems, that way you can get assistance. And it's worth it. It doesn't cost anything to apply. We offer the exam worldwide. It will be in Madrid. It will be anywhere we have a UN headquarters. If you're studying in another country and we have an exam center there, you can take it there. We also have what is known as the Associate Expert Program, also known as the Junior Professional Officer Program. It's the same thing, but we have 2 names just to confuse you. Basically, what that is governments, certain governments, and Spain is one of the governments, decide that they would like to sponsor positions in certain areas and in certain organizations. So they sponsor a number of positions in the UN Secretariat, in UNFPA, in UNDP. And they pick the areas, so say they want to work in development or political affairs. They will have an internal competition among Spanish nationals. Generally, you need to have 2 years professional experience. But again, this is for junior professionals, younger people than me and some of you, not mid-careers. But this is an opportunity, if you're selected as a JPO, to work side by side with UN professionals. You're treated as any other staff member, and the only difference is your salary is paid, but it's the same salary by the government. And this way, at the end of your 2 years, you have some significant experience and have made some contacts, so it puts you in a better position to apply for jobs within the common system. Now, as much as I say we all are passionate about our work, and we want to make a difference, we are very well compensated. We have excellent salaries, a good pension, health insurance, excellent annual leave. We have maternity leave, paternity leave. There are many people in the UN with families. Many people in the UN meet their partners in the UN. But that's another story. We also offer very unique entitlements because most of the jobs, you're not in your home country. So if we hire you from Spain to work in a family duty station, which is a duty station which is safe for your family, such as Addis Ababa or Nairobi or Geneva or Vienna or Santiago, if we hire you from Spain to work in one of those duty stations, we will pay for you and your family to move there, and for furniture, and for the dog, and we will also give you additional entitlements, such as if you have children, we will give you money so that they can be educated in an international school or in a Spanish school. We will give you money so that you can go home and visit your family every 2 years. If, however, we hire you to work in what is known as a non-family duty station, so to work in South Sudan, to work in Afghanistan, to work in Darfur, we are not moving your family. We are not moving the dog because it's not always safe. So we will compensate you with different entitlements. You will get additional vacation. We call it rest and recuperation. We will pay for you to visit your family at least once a year. Well, once a year, but you can visit them more because you're going to have a lot of leave. We will give you hardship pay and other financial incentives. Now, Layla told you how she started as a consultant. Now, all of our organizations have opportunities for consultants. And you may not know this, but the agencies, funds, and programs, so we have over 30 agencies, funds, and programs. Did you know that? You know the big ones, UNICEF, UNDP, UNHCR for refugees, but there are over 30. So when you think of your job search, think broadly because they all offer consultancies in different staff positions. So in the UN Secretariat, we advertise all of our jobs. No secret jobs. They're all advertised, and they're all advertised for 2 months. and we've started advertising the consultancies as well. In the agencies, funds, and programs, they also advertise consultancies much more frequently. So, for example, UNDP advertises its consultancies about 500 every month for a 2-week period sometimes. And a consultant can do anything. Maybe you're sitting in your home and writing a report. Maybe you're going to a country to count something. There could be a variety of consultant opportunities. Uh-oh. So think broadly. We also have institutional contractors. Those are organizations which must bid for work with the organization, with the UN, and we hire them for specific projects. So it could be an engineering project, it could be a complex IT project. With these institutional contractors, they often have their own staff, and these people, sometimes after 2 years working side by side with us, want to apply for jobs. So that's another way that you can find out more about the UN. Now, what is near and dear to my heart? Do we have any graduate students in the room? Okay, a few. All of our organizations offer internships. And as I explained, I started as an intern, and it gave me a lot of insight into the organization, and it solidified my desire to work here. You might be an intern and decide this is not for you. So it's a good experience because it offers you the opportunity to learn to work side by side with UN professionals and to see day to day what the organization is like. All of the organizations, UNDP, UNICEF, UNFPA, the UN Secretariat, offer internships at all of our family duty stations. All that is required is that you have a graduate, be enrolled in a graduate program, because it's a learning experience. Unfortunately, it is unpaid. This is the bad news. And we require you to work 2 months minimum, full-time, up to 6 months. Now, some of you may say, well, what if I can't afford to do that? And I understand. So then my advice would be to get an internship or volunteer somewhere locally in an international organization or for an NGO where you can at least familiarize yourself with the thematic areas, with the professional environment, and Marta is also going to tell you other ways right now where you can volunteer.
Okay, thank you, Lynn. So now we'll cover, before we end this section, the UN volunteers. So the UN Volunteers is an organization that is based in Bonn. It is administered by UNDP, and it provides volunteers to the whole UN system. And it has been a cornerstone of the UN, particularly for the field-oriented organizations, like the UN Secretariat, like UNFPA, UNDP, UNICEF, and the others. And they have 3 main areas where you can volunteer. One is as an international volunteer, and we will explain that in a minute. Another one is as an online volunteer. And soon, at the end of this month, beginning of next month, we will have a new program that is called the Global Youth Program. In terms of the international UN volunteers, as an average, in the last couple of years, UN volunteers have hired around more than 7,000 UN international volunteers for the UN system. UN Secretariat is the one that has the highest number. We have more than 50%. Around 3,500 of those volunteers serve with us. Other organizations that have a higher number of UN volunteers is UNDP and UNICEF. Those are the ones that follow. UNDP with above 2,000. And then we have some smaller number of UNVs, let's say, with UNFPA serving in the field. These volunteers do not serve normally in headquarters location like Geneva, Vienna. That's not where the volunteers are. The volunteers are really in the country, in the field. Liberia, Congo, Sudan, those are where you will find the volunteers. But it's an excellent experience in order to start with the UN, and many staff members like Lynn, myself, or Leila have started as a UN volunteer. The profiles are very similar to what we are looking for. It covers the whole gamut of administration, but also has specialized areas. Nurses, teachers, IT expert, child protection, rule of law. So it covers the whole gamut of profiles. And I'm not going to enumerate them because you will have it on the website of UN volunteers, but also on this presentation. In terms of what are the requirements to be a UN international volunteer under the UNV program, you need to be 25 years or older. There is no upper age. You can be 60, 75, you can still apply for a UN volunteer. And we do have a lot of individuals that after their career, they come and work for us as a UN volunteer. You do need to have a university degree. You do need to have 2 years of experience, and you do need to speak one of their official languages, which is either English, French, or Spanish. Is it clear? Good. And then, while you do not get the compensation package that Lynn was explaining to you, you do get a living allowance in order to live wherever you go. You do get travel to go to that location and come back. You do have health insurance, you do have the necessary insurance, and you do have 2.5 days of leave every month that can be accumulated. So you do get money for working as a UN volunteer. It's not that is unpaid. The other two ways of joining UNV is online volunteerism, and that is work that you do online. You do not have to travel. You do it from your home, from your desk. You just need a computer. The minimum age for that is 18 years, and there is no upper limit. The assignments can go from 1 day to 6 months, 3 weeks. It depends on the assignment, and it covers a whole gamut of assignments. It is unpaid, but you do get a certificate at the end. And it's a way of you demonstrating your interest also with the UN. And then at the end of this month, beginning of next month, UNV will be launching their new program, which is the Global Youth Program. And the UN, as well as ILO and many of the other organizations, are concerned of the future unemployment rate throughout the world of youth. So this is the reason for this program. The program will cover individuals between 18 and 29 years of age. You do not have to have a degree. You do not have to have experience. And the assignment will be between 6 months and 1 year. So that is another way of contributing to the UN. So on this note, as a summary, we just want to highlight the type of people that we are looking for, be it UNFPA, be it UNICEF, be it UNDP, or be it us. We want people that are, do you think we want people that are dynamic? Flexible? Want to travel? Like working with people with different nationalities? Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so Lynn, can you start preparing the next one? So while Lynn starts preparing the next presentation is how you apply to the UN system. We will gear it more to the UN Secretariat, but the principles are the same. The format is practically the same, WHO, UNAIDS, WFP, and everything. Is that clear? All right. Is there any burning question at this point in time? Anyone that cannot wait a few more minutes? I don't want. Upstairs, any burning question? No? All right. Burning, only one. Burning, you cannot wait.
Yes. Just for the online volunteer, do you also need a degree?
For the online volunteers, you just need to be 18 years or younger. All right. So before Lynn gives you the tips on how to apply, and first of all, for any application, be it in the UN or outside, you have to do a good application, right? In order to draw attention. So Lynn will be giving you the tips of what you need to watch when you are preparing a good application for the UN. But before she starts, who has a boyfriend or a girlfriend or is married or has a partner or has a family here? Hands up. I know that someone has a child up there. That's really good. He's going to be a future UN staff member. Okay, all of you. Okay, good. So before you start surfing, before you start applying, and if you have and you haven't done it, you have to do this. We urge you to discuss it with your partner, with your boyfriend, with your girlfriend, with your wife, with your husband, and with your children. It is not an individual decision at this point in time. Life as a UN staff member is wonderful, but it has its challenges. You will be away from your country, away from your parents. So it is important that you discuss it with them before you start applying. Because once you apply, once you are called for an interview, and if we offer you the position, it's too late to start asking them if they are in agreement or not to go to Santiago, to go to Bangkok, or if it's a non-family duty station like Afghanistan, that you're going and then leaving them behind. So is it clear why it's important? Some of you may do it now. Some of you, for family circumstances, may have to wait 1 or 2 years. The children may need to go to school and you don't want to bring them to another location. So it is important that you discuss it as a couple, as a family, and it's up to you. Is that clear? And if you can't now, that's okay. You will spread the word and one day you can apply. So now those that are single, no boyfriend, no girlfriend, no partner, no spouse. Hands up. Ooh, Lynn. Okay, for you, you also need to reflect individually. It is very likely that if you're looking for a partner or you're looking for a husband or a wife in the future, that person will not be from Spain. All right? Is it clear? I had recently someone in the audience that as soon as I said that, the person said, oh, no, I can't do that. I need to eat my food. My food on the table has to be from my nationality, and I can't do it. So you need to reflect. You know yourselves. We can't tell you that. So it's better for us to tell you up front some of the challenges that you have. It's a wonderful life. And it has a lot of benefits for families and children, but it also has the challenges. They will be away from the family, from the network, so it is important for you. So all of you that are single, also you have homework. It's not only the ones that have families or partners. Is that okay? So now I'm going to turn it over to Lynn, and now you have to listen even more.
You can definitely find a spouse in the UN. I did, but I'm not allowed to talk about that now. I am going to be very serious and explain to you how to be strategic when you apply to the UN, but any other organization. Even though all our jobs are advertised, we have many applicants from Spain and from all over the world. How long does a recruiter spend looking at your application? How many? 5 minutes? Any other? 1 minute, 10 minutes? A good recruiter probably would spend 30 seconds. A quick one who is very effective, maybe 12 to 15. Is it because they're lazy? No. It's because they know what they're looking for, and you need to stand out. You need, when you're looking for a job, to remember one thing. It's not about you. It's about what you can do for us. And you need to be able to show that in paper, through your application. And how do you do that? Before you even think about doing an application, you have to familiarize yourself with the organization to which you're applying. Do you think you would do the same application for Google as you would to Coca-Cola? No, they're different. They have different cultures. Well, the same, the UN has a unique culture. And even within the UN, we have different organizations which have different emphasis. So you need to do your homework. We're here today to give you the beginning, the tip of the iceberg. But if you're serious, you need to spend time, and looking for a job is a job, especially when you don't have one. I know this because I did it too. I'm going to tell you some ways in which you can familiarize yourself with any organization, even if you know nothing about it. There are clues. One of the clues is how we write our job openings. The language we use to describe the responsibilities of the job, to describe the skills we're looking for, to describe the competencies. It's all there. How many people here have seen a UN job opening? Raise your hands. They're not short, are they? We give a lot of information. If you start reading them, which I'm not saying to do regularly, but if you read 20 different jobs in your area, you're going to start to understand how we describe the jobs and how you should frame your experience, right? So you go on our website and you can search all the jobs to find out what level would be useful for you, to find out what areas your skill set would lend itself. How many people here have at least 5 years of experience? Excelente. Because all of the jobs advertised at all of our organizations pretty much require at least 5 years of experience. So this is very good. You have the experience. Now it's up to you to target your experience for a specific job. This is an example of a page on our website which lists all the agencies. You can also Google all the UN Common System agencies. But my point is, don't just get one or two UN organizations in your mind. Look broadly, because you didn't know about UNFPA before you came here, right? And I don't know if there are a lot of health professionals or not, but that is a good place if you're a health professional. So there may be organizations which you're not familiar with that are part of the UN system, which may have opportunities for you. Here's an example of UNFPA's website. This is United Nations volunteers. We all have our own websites. Unfortunately, you can't just do one great application and have it go to all the UN system for every job. You have to go to the individual organization website and fill out the application. But the good news is that once you do one, it's much easier to do the other because you can save it and cut and paste. So once you have familiarized yourself with the general culture of an organization, you are then ready to look for jobs for yourself. So you see a few and understand what the job is and understand the location. If you don't want to work in South Sudan, should you apply for a job in South Sudan? I mean, you laugh, but you think, oh, I'll just apply. But if you go through the process, which is a long process and takes a lot of time, both on your part and ours, and at the end are offered a position in South Sudan and have no interest in going there, it will tarnish your credibility and just be a waste of everyone's time. So you should never apply for a job that you wouldn't take. But by the same token, you should never just rule out something because it's different. I never thought I would work in Rwanda or Haiti without electricity, without running water. But I didn't, and it was part of the best experience of my life. A lot of people think, oh, I have to work in New York, I have to work in Geneva. But many of our field locations are where the action is and where it's happening and where you're going to build long-lasting friendships. So be open, but be honest with yourself. So once you apply, once you're ready to apply, you will fill out the application. For the Secretariat, the platform we use is Inspira. Has anybody filled out an application in Inspira? And you didn't, I'm not going to say it. Okay. And I was going to make a joke, but I don't think my boss would think it was funny. But it was a long process, yes? And it takes time to do it well. You don't need to do it in one sitting. You can save it, you can think about it. In fact, you should reflect on it. Once you do it once, it's there. You can save it forever and just keep modifying and updating it for other jobs. So it's worth taking the time. This is UNFPA's form. In our application, we ask for a lot of information, and you really need to put in the right dates, put in the right names, put in your right nationality. We're not trying to be nosy. If you ask some of these questions in my country, it's against the law. Like, how much do you weigh? You cannot ask that in America. But we ask that because we have health reasons, there are medical reasons. We ask about your family because this is going to impact on your entitlements. It's not going to hurt you if you have 8 children. It's just we need to know what the entitlements are. We ask about your nationalities because there are many countries that we work in where sometimes it could be a problem. So it doesn't mean that you can't get a job. We want all nationalities, but we want to have all this information pretty much in one place at one time. We also are going to ask you your languages. Of course, it's an additional, I guess, bonus if you speak any of the UN languages, and you already speak 2. You speak Spanish and English. So if you speak French, and these are all, you don't need to unless you need to speak English or French. Those are the working languages. And anything else is a bonus unless you're going to be an interpreter. So you guys have that down. Don't worry about the languages. If you speak other languages, we want to know those too. We'll also ask you your references. Many people think if they put somebody important or someone famous as their references, it's really going to help them. It isn't. We only look at your references when we're ready to hire you. And then it's important that one of your references is someone we can get in contact with. So if I put George Clooney as my reference, it's going to be, well, first of all, I don't really know him, so that wouldn't be honest. But second of all, even if I did kind of know him, it wouldn't be very good for me because when they're trying to get me on board, they're never going to be able to find him in Italy or wherever he is. So you want to put people who know you. We're going to ask you for all your supervisors, all your bosses. So this could be people who know you, professors, personal friends, families. Now this is the key. You do this part in the Word document, and then you're going to cut and paste it into the Inspira. Everybody has had at least 5 years of experience. So that means you could have one job or maybe 2 jobs, or if you have 10 years experience, 3 jobs. I don't even know how many jobs I've had in 20 years, but it's a lot. So the bad news is that the more experience you have, the more time it's going to take you to fill out this application, and the more carefully you need to do it. You can't just put, I've worked at the UN for 20 years and leave it at that. I have to put every single job I have. And this is actually a good thing because it showcases my various skills. I can do straight law, I can do communications, I can do administrative law. So you want to, even if you work for the same organization, show your different roles and functions. Is that clear? Vale, listo? No, and if you've worked for different organizations, the same thing. We really want to know when you started, when you left, whether you were paid, whether you were not paid. We only count professional experience, which is paid experience, after your first level degree. So if you got a first level degree and you worked for 2 years, and then you got a master's and worked for 3 years, that would count as 5 years. That doesn't mean you shouldn't put down all your internships and all your volunteer work, because that goes to who you are as a person, and that does make a difference for us. Now, this is important. When you're describing your work, you want to keep in mind the job that you're applying for, right? You want to be strategic. So we can't change our history, our work, our professional experience, but we can highlight certain things and emphasize certain aspects. So depending on the job, you might want to emphasize working with the government, or making presentations, or writing legal opinions, or building bridges, or analyzing data, depending on what it is. So you list your duties, which are your responsibilities, which are the actions you undertake every day. But we also want to know what your achievements are. What are the results? And the results could be maintained the budget for an NGO with 200,000 people and $7 billion and managed to cut costs, blah, blah, blah. Or it could be organized an event which drew 60 people from 30 different countries, which was a success. Or I'll tell you something I did, because my boss is here and it's coming to the evaluation period. So I'm going to tell you one of my achievements. I started a social media 2 years ago. I know nothing about IT, remember? So actually, this is something an intern who was very smart helped me with, and these were the criteria. There could be no cost to the UN. So no cost. This had to be something that I could maintain every day. Has anybody gone on UN Careers Facebook? I am the face behind UN Careers Facebook. So we started this about actually 3 years ago, April. And we have a UN Careers Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So it's UN Careers LinkedIn. So please, everybody like it and come and join. But what it does is, here we are in Spain speaking to you, but now we have a reach of over 20 languages to 120 countries. So not everybody is lucky that they can come and talk to us and ask questions, because we just cannot afford to go to every single country. But this is a way that anybody can have access, and we answer all your questions and we give you information. And I think it's a huge achievement because it's at no cost to you, and it spreads the word. So it's just one other way to communicate with people interested. So that's what I'm talking about. You could say it in less lines, though. This is the most important thing. This is the tipping point. Do you have that expression in Spanish? This is something where it's really going to draw the recruiter's attention to your application. If we have 1,000 people that apply for a job, the computer is going to screen out the candidates that don't have the right education for that job or don't have the requisite number of years of experience. But after that, we may be left with 700 candidates that a recruiter, a real live person, is going to look at and try to compare their experience to the job. And if people start to look interesting, they're going to look at your cover letter. And if you have a strategic cover letter which is tailored to this job, which shows why you, even if you're not the perfect fit, but you have this skill set that would be useful for me in hiring you, this is going to put you in the short pile. Then we may invite you to take a technical assessment. Don't be scared. A technical assessment could be anything from a writing test to, if you're an economist, some kind of mathematical problem. But basically, it's not geared to, it is geared to weed people out, and it's geared to assess your technical abilities. But there's no, I think, benefit on being on the inside. We're all scared to do these. It's just you have to try. There's no necessarily right answer unless it's a statistics exam. And they're looking for your analytic skills, your drafting ability, your reasoning, and just to take the test because you have nothing to lose. And then when you do this great application, you pass your technical assistant, we are going to call you for an interview.